All righty. So you want some live feeds. You want some kind of feature where you have constant updates, right? If we think about what we've learned so far, right? Every process for getting information from a remote location is kind of built on the HTTP request response cycle, which can essentially do just about anything that you want, right? You have a client application, and then you have a server application. And if on the client you want to retrieve all of the up-to-date information on the server, you send a request and you wait for a response, and you use that to, guide what it is that, whatever it is that you're trying to do on the front end, whether it be you're trying to load a dashboard of information, you're trying to display a list of entries in something, you're sending a request and you're waiting on a response. But it's a very proactive situation, right? If you want to get the most up-to-date information on the client, then that means you need to send that request again. But think about some, let's think of some situations where maybe it's not super prudent to do something like that. If stocks, for example, you want the most up-to-date information as the stock price increases or decreases. You want to see that immediately. There are ways that you could, from the client side, just set a timer every half a second or whatever, send the request, get the response, show the newest information on the page, right? But when it comes to stocks, it's like a nanosecond thing. These companies pay inordinate amounts of money. These finance companies pay ridiculous amounts of money for systems and frameworks that get as up-to-date information as possible. If you can shave a quarter of a millisecond off of the time that it takes to get, the most recent information, that's a quarter second ahead of everybody else that you're at. So you might want something a little bit more proactive or a little bit more reactive, right? I need to know from the client side immediately when something changes. And so it can be kind of challenging because you send the request, you get the response, you send a request, you get the response, but then say that another client somewhere is putting information in to the server via request, and they're sending a response back. And then if that happens somewhere around here, right? You missed it from here, and you have to wait for the next request and response to come back. But what if there was a situation? What if there was something that we could do where we have our client and we have our server, and the client essentially puts its ear up? That's a terrible ear. It just puts its ear up to the server. And when the server says, oh, yep, we got an update, the client can just get it. Or the client can send some information to the server, and then 27 other clients are listening for something specific to happen. And as soon as it happens, bam, we've got an update. Something new is here. This is where something like sockets comes into play. Now, I say something like sockets because there are tons of different languages, and each one will take the same concept, the same functionality, and just give it a new name. I've heard of it called, Signal R is how they do it in C#. In MERN, we use something called socket.io. And it's ultimately the same process, the same idea. It's just the programming behind how it happens is a little bit different. Before we even touch the code, I want to make sure that we're clear on what this what exactly is going on, right? So let's say that we have a few different things happening at once. We'll have a client A and a client B. And in the middle somewhere is a server. Now, obviously, we've played around with the server. We know that we can build out our own API endpoints. We can have it transmit data to and from our database. We can have it receive requests and spit some of that database information back out to where the request is coming from. But in all of those situations, our server is serving as a hub. It is the central location that everything is happening off of. Even, in production, even getting the client application is coming from the server. So our server is kind of our point of contact. This is our central point of contact. It's where everything lives. It's where everything comes from. So when we're dealing with sockets, we may want to, and what we're going to be doing today is I'm building a little bit of a social media app. I have a lot of functionality tossed in there. I have a bunch of stuff all set up and the shell for a lot more features that I have not yet implemented, which is what we're going to be doing here. And so our server, let's talk about in terms of a chat functionality, right? The person that's using client A wants to chat with the person using client B. And you could theoretically just set up, at least I'm fairly certain you can theoretically set up a socket connection directly from client A to client B. And you could send some data back and forth. But let's think about things. When we were trying to keep track of new additions to our task list, our to-do list in React, what was the problem? The problem was that anytime that we refreshed the page, everything was gone and it was back to square one. So you can set up, some kind of temporary chat log between two clients, possibly. But what if somebody accidentally refreshes the page? Somebody needs to go open up their account on another device. All of a sudden, all that chat log is gone. So what we can do and what we will end up doing is on our server, we will use this to listen for connection requests. And when we get a connection request, say that client A says, I want to open up a chat with the person using client B. We can open up a room, so to speak, a chat room. And then when client A connects to the chat room, it sets up a socket connection where this room is now listening for any socket events coming from client A. And then client A is going to have to build out some functionality where it can listen for events broadcasted by the server. And then if you have it set up right, then client B can also connect to this chat room. And assuming that everything gets set up properly, and that's the goal for today, assuming that we can get everything set up, then when client A even possibly types, as soon as they start typing, we can emit what is, that's the terminology we use. It's a socket emission. We're emitting an event that we could call typing. The server is listening for the typing event, and then it will broadcast out to all other connected clients, hey, client A is typing. And client B, assuming that they're built to listen for that emission, can do something with it. So think about Slack. If I go on Slack right now, and I go into the full stack April 2020, and I start typing, if you're looking at that right now, you can see that it says Cody Thaler is typing. and then I stop typing for a little bit, and then it'll go away. And then as soon as I send a message, and you see it immediately. You didn't need to refresh the page. You didn't need to do anything to get that message. You just got it, right? See, and I just got notified that you put eyes on the message. We've got all these sockets we have all these different points of contact connected through these socket connections. And it is possible. I don't know the inner workings of Slack. I've never worked on it. It is theoretically possible that there is no sockets and it's just HTTP requests and responses where the app itself just keeps sending a request to the server saying, hey, who's typing in this chat room? Who's typing in this chat room? And every time that you type, it's sending an HTTP request to the server that's saying, hey, make sure that you log that we're typing so that when they ask, you can be told that. But that could be, that's a lot that needs to be tracked at once. Whereas this, you set up, it's like when you were kids and you wanted to you set up 2 tents or 2 little pillow forts and you wanted to chat with your friend in the other pillow fort. You connected 2 Dixie cups with a long piece of string and you use that to talk to each other. That's what we're trying to do here with sockets. So a chat application, as soon as I send a message, you receive it on your client. As soon as you send a message, I receive it on my client, and there's no need to refresh. There's no need to continuously send requests to say, okay, now is there an update? Okay, now is there an update? Okay, now is there an update? No, we can just set it up so that if person A types, it emits that event to the server, which in that chat room, it says, okay, well, we're listening for typing events. We just heard a typing event in progress. Let's emit to the other connected clients that this is happening. And what's great is that because we're building this on an HTTP server, or at least we could build this on the same server that our Express application is built on. And what that will allow us to do is, well, what are we able to do from our Express server? We can make queries to our database. We can add new documents to our MongoDB collections. So what we can do here is when the message is sent, it emits a message sent event with information about what message was sent. And before emitting to everybody else, or while emitting to everybody else that this event was, this message was sent, we can also save it to the database and keep a log of all of the chat that's happening. That sounds fascinating. Let's do it. All right, so let's see what we have. Let's see what we're working with, what we can do and what we can't yet. So this is my little app. I called it Socket to Me. Thought it was clever, fun little name. And ideally, I want to be able to find friends. I have this kind of set up. If I say, hey, I want to see if Marcus is using this, I see that Marcus is on and I can add him, except it doesn't actually work. Or I want to look for John. And all of this here so far is done using our basic, request response, cycle and our Axios calls, things like that. I could sign out. I can create a new account. I can sign in. So I'm going to get back into instructor_Cody. And I say, I want you to remember me. Okay. So let's start with what we've got working so far. I can search for another user and I see that Marcus is connected. This doesn't actually do anything yet. I just wanted to put something else here to bridge the gap. But I want to make it so that when I click add, I can add him. And I can send this friend request using just a plain old Axios call if I really want to, right? But what I want to do is I want to make it so that if I were to pull up this app as instructor Cody, and then also pull it up in a different window as instructor Marcus, I want to make it so that when I add Marcus as my friend, that on Marcus's screen, it shows that I'm now on his list of friends. So let's do that. Okay, so let's see what what we're working with. We have nothing as far as sockets go. I mentioned that when we're talking about these kinds of connections, these kinds of applications, we're going to treat our server as our hub. So before I even get into the front end stuff, I want to build out some backend functionality to handle adding sockets. So what are we going to use? Well, there is a Node package called socket.io. And this is basically going to have everything that we need. There is a separate version of Socket.io that is specifically built for React or for a client-side application. And that's a different installation. It's socket.io-client. But they work together, right? It's two different Node packages, Node libraries that are built to interact with each other. Let's go ahead and see, how do we get started? I've already run my npm install. You'll see here that they have a server. Now, this is where things get a little bit different, right? In your snippets app, we have these separate files. We have the app, and then we have that www, and we're exporting the app, importing it into www, and there's this line that looks kind of like this: http.create server. With that server, no, I don't want to, I want to skip past all of this stuff. Here we go. We take that server and we use Socket.io to create our actual input-output mechanism. And then we say that when our sockets are connected to, we're just going to console log a user connected. So what this is going to do is it's going to make it so if I have a couple of different people connect, I can get, my server can at least see something that says, yep, people are connecting to this thing. So let's go ahead and get started and try and kind of rebuild this. I am going to, I don't think I'm going to modularize this. I'm going to keep it all just in my app.js for now. Let's see. So I believe that there is a way to kind of condense these steps down a little bit. When I run app.listen, it is already a server. So I don't think that I need this part. We'll play around with it, see what happens. Okay, so I have installed Socket.io already. Again, socket.io is going to be for the server, and then socket.io-client is going to be for the client. So here I have socket.io, and let's go ahead and import socket from socket.io. Let's go check documentation, and no, it does want server. Okay, so let's get the server from socket.io. And then here, when I say app.listen, I can instead store the result of that in this variable. And you'll see here that it is a server. Cool. So I guess I didn't necessarily need that. But I do need this. I need to create a new server out of this. So this is my app server. So let's do that. App server. And this that I have imported represents a socket.io server. And this one just represents I think just a regular node server. So let's create our actual socket connection. IO equals new server, which is coming from socket.io, where we pass in the app server itself. And then io.on connection. Now, let's talk about that right there for a sec. sockets, so when it comes to HTTP request response, right, we have a set type of request method that we can use. We can send GET requests, we can send POST requests, put, patch, delete. So those are kind of the standards. We use them all the time. And because it's an established protocol, we can't really stray from it very much, especially if we want to be able to have our application and, you know, interact with other applications. But with our sockets, this says connection, but I can call my socket events whatever I want. I think this one is a little bit more strict because we need to be able to connect to our socket connection in general. But after that, just about anything that we do, we're going to be able to call it whatever we want. So keep that in mind. Okay. And then so if we look here, socket.on connection, and then there's a function. So essentially everything that we want to do with our sockets needs to be defined inside of that, because once it's connected, then we need to follow the rules of what it should do when it's connected. And there are certain events that are built in as it shows here. Each socket also fires a special disconnect event. So on connection, on disconnect, those are kind of the built-ins. Pretty much anything else, you know, there's tons and tons of possibilities for us because we can create our own also. But there is specific functionality for these that involves actually connecting to the sockets and disconnecting from the sockets. So let's go ahead and get this set up on the back end. io.on connection. And then we want to take the actual socket and pass it into the function. Now, the reason we want to do that is because there's not just like a socket that everybody connects to. We want specific socket connections. When a client app tries to connect to our server socket, there's like a direct line created between them. And everything that we define in here is in terms of that direct line. So that's where we're going to start. And we'll just console log socket and see what happens. Now, are we going to be able to see anything happening yet? No. Sockets is not a one person does the thing situation. A socket, it's like if you made a phone call. If nobody answers the phone call, are you talking to somebody? No, there might be like a voicemail or something that says, well, nobody picked up, so let's connect. But if you don't, if you try to call somebody and they don't answer the phone and you talk, they can't hear you because they didn't answer the phone. It's the same situation here. If you can have your server be a hub to connect to these sockets, but if the client's not connecting to it, then there's nobody to talk to. So there's no socket connection. So let's try and get this set up. Let's do something really basic. Let's just get into the client side and create our socket connection. Socket.io-client npm. All right, so we have socket.io client, and I want docs. Oh, wait, I saw it. See the documentation here. Okay, cool. So once you've installed the socket.io client library, you can now initialize the client. Complete list of options can be found here. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. I don't necessarily want to have this script import because we're using React, right? We're using NPM in our React application. So we're going to import IO from socket.io-client. In the client, you'll see in package.json that I did already install it. Again, this is just your NPM install socket.io-client. I have the workspaces set up, so it would be npm install -w client socket.io-client, or navigate into the client directory and run the npm install directly. But so socket.io-client, on the React side, socket.io on the server side. And then what I'm going to do is, because I'm trying to get a socket connection here to connect, I think this doesn't necessarily lend itself terribly well to sockets, but I still want to just incorporate it anyway before we get into adding the chat features, because why not? So that is in this component, which I called friend search. And I added that button that says send friend request user.id. And I have my function, and it doesn't really do anything. So let's start by saying that when I click this, I want to establish a socket connection. What do we do? Let's see. Oh, where were we? Client initialization. So I'm going to import IO from socket.io-client. And then this says from the same domain. If your front is served on the same domain as your server, you can simply use socket.io, socket equals IO. But right now, dev-wise, developer server, I don't have them on the same IP address. So I'm going to use the second one. If we pass an argument in, if we pass a string into the IO function, then we can connect to a different server. So let's import IO from socket.io-client. And then in here, const socket equals IO dot, or IO parentheses, and then it's localhost 8080. And that's it. Okay. So let's see, in the examples above, the client will connect to the main namespace. Okay, so let's see, let's check something out here. How do we emit an event? So I've got my socket server io.on connection, and then we're just console logging the socket. On the client, we can do socket.on something. So io.on connection. You know what? Let's just check something out here, right? When I click this, it's going to initialize a socket connection to my server. And on my server, I have it set up so that when a connection is established, it's just going to console log something. Now I have it so that if I click this, it will actually initialize that connection. So if I click it, and I go look at my server, I see nothing. So that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Let's see. Okay. IO.on connection, console log socket. Is this 8080? Did I indeed make it 8080 port keys.port 8080? Okay. And then here, localhost 8080. Get into the console, make sure that that's actually running. Oh, that's probably gonna give us something. Oh no, I saw cores stuff. Blocked by cores. Okay. Express socket cores. Let's see if we can do something here with this. Since socket IO v3, you need to explicitly enable cross-origin resource sharing. Okay. So server side IO is that socket server with an option. Cores origin. Okay, so let's do this. I think what we should be able to do is add a second argument. Yep, options. Okay. And our cores policy. So cores is cross-origin resource sharing. My React app is localhost 3000. My server is localhost 8080. Maybe not the best thing to be able to just have traffic going from one to the other, unless it's a situation like this where I, in fact, am in charge of both. And I do want that to happen. So I need to add a CORS policy where I set the origin as localhost 3000. I think there's a way to just make it accept it from anywhere, but I'm just going to make it accept it from localhost 3000. Methods get post. I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Socket.io client or socket.io allow all CORS. Let's see if we can find something with that. No. Oh, hey, I'm using 80. And oh, it's backwards. Weird. All right, I'll just do it this way. Origin is going to be localhost 3000 and methods. Sure, I'll add get post. We'll see what happens. Origin, or wait, no, it's CORS. So we get our object, CORS, origin, http:// localhost 3000, methods, get post. And then let's see if anything changes. So I'm going to look for Marcus, add. There we go. It says it's running. And if we go here, look at this. What is all of this? This is the socket. There's a lot in this socket. There's a lot in that socket, but it is our socket. So we have now established a connection between a client and a server, or at least very temporarily. So let's do this. Let's make it so that when our server hears that a socket a socket connection has been established, it will emit something that says, hey, welcome. Socket.emit, hello, welcome. So the first argument in the emit is going to be the name of the event. I am emitting a hello event from my socket to whoever just connected. And the second argument is what I want to emit, the actual body of the emission, which in this case is just going to be a string that says welcome. So then on the client side, I can define my socket or tell my socket that when it hears a hello, we can alert we connected to the socket. So let's see. Marcus, add, we connected to the socket. Ooh, that doesn't sound very good. Cannot read properties of undefined reading apply. Huh? Well, okay, so let's, oh, right, this is a callback function. Okay, so let's see. Marcus, add. Okay, cool. And better yet, let's take the body from the emission and just use that in the alert. Add. It says welcome. How did it know to say welcome? Well, client established a socket connection with the server. The server has just been listening for and waiting for somebody to connect. When somebody did connect, it said, oh, cool. Well, let's emit a new socket event. I'm going to emit back to whoever contacted me through this socket a hello event. And the message that I'm going to send is welcome. Now that I've established the socket on the front end, if I receive a hello event, then I'm going to run this function that's going to take the body that was emitted and alert it. So essentially what we're seeing here is that the backend is handling things kind of in a similar way. It's just waiting to listen for certain events. In this case, instead of an HTTP request, a socket emission. But on the front end, now we kind of need to create that back and forth, right? We've already been sending things to the server, but now we need to deal with, well, what if somebody just happens to respond to us like right away, you know? So cool, awesome. So what else can we do here, right? Well, we have it set up so that when we connect, we can listen for a hello emission. But what if what we want to do is, instead of waiting to hear something, because in this case, I'm just trying to send a friend request. What if I want to emit something to the socket? I'm going to emit an event called add friend. And what I'm going to send is the ID. Now, is my socket going to be able to wait for that? Let's see. If I send this, we connect it to the socket. I feel like I removed that. Let's see, Marcus, add. I got nothing happening on the front end, and I don't really see anything happening on the back end either. Why? Well, because I've emitted an event from the front end that my socket server has not been told how to handle that. So I'm going to tell my server to wait for an add friend event. And if we receive that event, let's console log what we're getting. So on my server, I got nothing happening here. It just says my connection is established. If I click add, it's going to emit the add friend event. And now that my server, the socket server, has been told, hey, listen for an add friend event, it was able to take that event and read the body out to the console. And what was that body? Well, it was the ID of the friend that I want to add. So this is the equivalent in sockets to the HTTP send a post request or send a request to the server with a piece of information. Except instead of doing it over HTTP, I'm doing it over sockets. I've emitted the event, but I'm waiting for the server to do something. Now let's see. I did get a little carried away with creating this backend. I added chat rooms and friend requests and users. I'm not going to go with the whole friend request system. All I'm going to do is make it so that it's not a very mutual friendship. I'm adding Marcus as a friend, but he has no say in the matter. He's my friend now. He doesn't get to accept or deny the friend request. I'm just going to add Marcus to my list of friends. So I guess there's a couple other pieces of information that I need right now. I need to know from the front end, who am I sending the request to? And who is who do I need to add? Like, who needs to add that friend as a friend? So instead of it just being ID, I'm going to say from, and then I have a use like an authorization thing set up. So const auth UID equals use auth. So very similar to snippets, I have a custom hook that is using context where I have the logged in user's ID. So it's going to be from that user to the user that I just got from there. Marcus is going to be my friend. He's got no say in the matter. We're going to have a great time. So now if we go look at the body, if we send this again, it's going to look a little bit different because the body we're sending is no longer just an ID, but an object that has a from and a to. So what I need to do here, I just need to create, or, I need to add these friends. Body contains from, the ID of the user who's sending the friend request, and to, the ID of the user who is receiving the friend request. the 2 users that I need to connect. And the way that I have this set up, just very, very basic, I have an array of friends. So in my array of friends, I need to add Marcus, and in Marcus's array of friends, need to add me. Okay. Well, how would we do that normally? We would use the model and run a Mongoose query. Just because we're not in an endpoint means nothing. We can still bring all that stuff in. So I'm going to import the user model. And I'll make this asynchronous. I have no idea if I can, but we'll find out. And I'm going to wait user.findById and update. I'm going to target, let's do this. From and to is going to be the result of destructuring the body. So I'm going to start with add the to user to the from users list of friends. And then the next step is going to be add the from user to the to users list of friends. So it's from is the ID of the user I want to modify. And I'm going to add to set friends : 2. So I'm taking the ID of the user that the request is being sent to and adding it to the list of friends of the from user. And then I'm going to flip it on the other side. Await user.findById and update to add to set friends from. So let's see, will this really work? Will I be able to send Marcus a friend request and be added as his friend in the database? Let's see. If I go look in my database, because I have it connected locally, socket demo, users. So here's instructor Cody, no friends. Marcus, also no friends. But we're about to solve that problem for each other. I'm going to add him. I'm going to come back. I'm going to refresh. Cody now has a friend, and Marcus now has a friend. Didn't need an HTTP request or anything. All I did was socket. I socked it to me. And then probably, oops, socket dot disconnect. Establish the socket connection, send the friend request, disconnect it. Is it like an API library? It is an API, it is a library. I don't think it's an API. Although it is, I think it's just a library. Yeah. API is a very broad thing. There's like little functionalities that are built into programs that are technically APIs, even though it's not like a whole separate application. So, but it is a library. Well, okay. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'd be inclined to think of it as an API, if only because this is the interface you're connecting to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, because so we have that interface, but it's like, I don't know if it's literally an API, but it basically is, right? Like I said, API is a really broad term. I will say this though, sockets themselves, no. Sockets is more of a concept. Socket.io, yes. But cool. So this doesn't again, this isn't exactly the best use case for sockets that I just did, right? It's less work to just send the request and have it be handled by an endpoint. Instead, I needed to establish a connection, emit an event, and then disconnect, right? Kind of weird. But what I want to kind of focus on is that in that socket event handler, I can do anything that I would normally want to do on my server. If I want to go ahead and modify my database, I can go ahead and do that. It's good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this a little bit further. I think if I do this. No. Okay. Let's go ahead and I want to work on the chat thing because that's really the big fancy bit here. I want to make a little chat application where I can send messages to Marcus. Marcus can send messages to me. So let's do this. In my dashboard. Okay, so I have a load dashboard function. And in here, I am trying to get all of my friends and also the chat rooms. Okay, so let me see, what is that endpoint doing? Because I should have, well, actually, no. I'm going to console log friends because I should have friends now. I forced Marcus to be my friend, but it's not showing up. So
We
let's
can be friends.
refresh. Oh, wait, nope, there it is. Use dashboard. There we go. Cool. Okay. So it's in ongoing chats that I got nothing. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so when I go to my chats, this is my dashboard. I want it to go to, I thought I made it do friend search, and then we'll do a route path of chat element of, well, we don't have that element yet. So let's go ahead and make a component called chat window .js. So we'll use that chat window. And then in my header, I'm going to go and change that link to dashboard/chat. Okay. Boom, chat window. But what I want is I want all of my active chats to go here. And then let's make a little thing at the bottom that gives me the ability to start a chat with somebody that has to be on my friends list. I don't want to just randomly start messaging strangers. This isn't Omegle or whatever that you just connect with strangers. Stranger danger, right? That's what I was taught. In my dashboard. I want to modify something real quick. I want this to be not 250 pixels, but 200. So let's go with on our dashboard, or better yet, in the active chats, ongoing chats, I need to make the ability to create a new chat, right? So underneath all of this, I'm going to make a div with a class name of add chat. And let's make some CSS for that. Add chat is going to be chat list. This is going to be display or position relative, position absolute, bottom 0, with 100%. Okay. So I'm going to make a little search bar here. So we're going to get a form in here. Form from React Bootstrap. Did I already import that? I did. No, from React Router DOM. I don't want that. Const new chat username, set new chat username. Use state empty string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that I can search for one of my friends from my friends list and start a new chat with them. On submit equals handle some create chat. And let's make a function. Handle create chat. Okay. Let's get our form group. Yeah. Okay. Form.label. Better yet, form control. Type is going to be text. I'm going to turn autocomplete off. Name is new chat username. Value equals new chat username. On change equals handle change. We'll do it there. And then placeholder. Search for a friend to chat with. Don't think that's all going to fit there, but that's okay. Handle change is not defined. Correct. It's not. Oops. Handle change. Set. No, set new chat username, e.target.value. Okay. Yeah, so it's not taken, or it's there, but it's, you know, kind of squished. Username. And let's put a button. Type equals submit. Variant equals info. I'll make it say start. Okay. I want this form group class name equals duplex. Okay. Doesn't look super pretty, but that's all right. Okay. I'm going to totally steal this. From here, handle change is going to be this that I need to bring in to my ongoing chat. We're getting to sockets in just a sec. Set chat username equals that axios.get. So I need to import Axios from my utils. Axios config. Display searched users. Set display searched users. All right, so I'm going to display those users. I'll just console log this there. And then above that, I will put display searched users dot map. I'm going to actually get rid of this button here. Get rid of the form. And then we'll put a little, just going to show the username and a button to start the chat. So div span user.username key equals user._ID. Class name equals deflex, justify content between, and then we'll do a little button. Can I make my start chat handle create chat? Handle create chat. Where did I go? I'm lost. I have lost where I was. Okay. And then I do want to pass the ID because I need to know who's calling. Or who am I calling? Equals info. Okay. So if I start searching for Mark, nope, that did not do anything that I wanted it to do. Am I sending this request to the right place? Axios.get users, username equals uname, which is that on change, handle change. So let's do this. Okay. So if I start typing here, no, all right. So that's why is that not going to the same place though? Yeah, usernames, username, I'm just trying to get my list of users that I can chat with. Oh, I know why, because that's not going to the right place. That's going to a place that's grabbing the list of all users that I'm not already friends with. So I'm going to just make a route here real quick. Friends, or not even a full route. I'm just going to modify this. Const uname equals rec.query. And we'll say if there's a username, then we'll do one thing. Otherwise, we'll do this. Const users equals await user dot find username is that's regex uname username options. I think that's good. Response JSON users. Nope. All right, what did I do wrong? Let me hop over here. Oh, because I'm still sending it there. Instead, I want to send it to friends / the username or question mark username. And then it's not uname. I'm just all over the place. There we go. Okay. I'm going to ignore the fact that I have myself here and all that. I didn't, whittle the query down too much. But let's say that I want to chat with Marcus. Let's do something fun here. I'm going to open another browser. And put these side by side. And so on this one, I'm going to sign in as Marcus. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to make it so that when I click chat now, it will create a new chat room between the two of us. And I'm also going to modify things a little bit so that those chat rooms are going to be gotten live. So I want it, basically what I'm trying to do is make it so that when I click chat now, it will show up right here that we have a chat going on. So let's go ahead and start with, what do I want to start with? Let's start by getting the live connection in terms of retrieving all of them, all of the chats. So in my hook use dashboard, I have this going on, but I don't necessarily want that. I am going to, you know what? No, loading it, I will do that. I will do that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a use effect here. And I'm going to modify state to say socket connected false. Because I don't want to accidentally break the socket connection. Or duplicate the socket connection. Okay, so remember we needed to import IO from socket.io-client. And on my use effect, I'm going to create a socket. I'm actually going to store the socket in state. So I don't even need to do that. I just need to make a socket. Let's say if there's no socket, then we will let socket. It's not that socket. It's state.socket. We're going to create a socket equal to IO localhost 8080. And then, let's see. We'll make it emit something called fetch chat rooms. And the body will be the ID of the user in state, which I can't get here. Gross. All right, we're just going to do it not in here, but in the dashboard itself. So where's my dashboard? We're going to make another auth socket. So if there's no socket that I'm pulling from that state, if there's no socket and we're authenticated, then what we want to do is emit that we want to fetch all of our chat rooms. And what we'll do here is say we need the logged in user's ID to be submitted. And then yeah, we're just going to emit the user ID. So emit that I want to fetch the chat rooms. And then on the server side, we now need to set it up to handle that. Socket.on. I already forgot what I called it. Fetch chat rooms. Fetch chat rooms. And it's going to receive a body, but it's not just going to be a body. It's going to be a user ID. And I want to fetch all of the chat rooms that user is a part of. So I'm going to go chat rooms as my model. Const rooms equals await chat room dot find, where the chat rooms. Members array contains the logged in user's ID. So find where the members, and if I just put UID there, it will get me the chat room with those members. And then I'm going to just start with, just do that. I'm just going to do that. And then we'll emit new chat rooms with those rooms. So on here, boo, 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 boo. Chat room schema. Nope, I'm looking in the wrong place. Now I can build another event listener here on new chat rooms. Console log the body. Okay. Oh boy, auth is not defined. Yeah, just get those. IO is not defined. Did I not import it? I did not. Import IO from socket-io.client. Auth is not defined. Where am I looking for auth? Oh, is authenticated. Oh, socket.io-client. Oopsies. Okay. So okay, so let's see. I think that what I'm going to need to do is socket.io client connect and send ID. I want to customize my client ID. So IO from the React side. No, I did client, whatever. Create an array on the server, store custom objects on it. For example, you could store the ID created by socket.io and a custom ID sent by each client to the server. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that I want to fetch all of the things. And then when I get that back, okay, so I think we should be good. Dashboard.js line 38, that's that right there. And I have no chat room set up. Cool. So that is working on for both things. And then on that should be just the array. So I should be able to say this is going to be the rooms, set my chat rooms in load dashboard. Let's do const set chat rooms equals rooms dispatch type, and then I made an event dispatch type for load chats, and the payload will be the rooms. Yeah, that should do that. I'll export set chat rooms, and then in my ongoing chats, no, in the dashboard, pull that out of here. Set chat rooms. Set chat rooms rooms. Okay. And there's going to be nothing because we have none yet. Okay. So now what we need to do is make it so that we can actually send the request, and it should, at the very least, we'll start with adding it on our side, and then we'll figure out how to get it added live on both sides, and then get to messaging, which should be much easier once that is all figured out. Okay, so let me close all these things. Boop, 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 boop. So we have our dashboard and our ongoing chat, which we are handle create chat. Okay, so const socket equals IO. Or you know what? Right, because we may, well, in the dashboard, this is where I need to connect the socket to what I have in here, because I did add the socket. So let's do this. Const set socket. It's going to take a socket and then dispatch type set socket payload is socket. And then we'll add that event or that handler set socket return state socket is going to be action.payload. So then in here, I don't need to define the socket on that guy, because then what I get to do is I connect to the socket and then I'm on the same socket for all of the things. I don't need to worry about the other stuff. I like that. So I have the socket there. Socket equals IO. Yep, I was already doing that here. I just never actually committed it. Set socket, which I need to import from here. Did I not export it down here? No, okay. All right. So I get that all set up here, set socket, socket. And then I could just keep adding all of the new little bits that I need here. Cool, 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 which means that I can pull that in other places. Socket. So handle create chat, socket.emit, create chat room. And then we're going to have from. Get our user ID from myself. Handle create chat. Where did we do that? That's a user ID. So this isn't an event that we want, but an ID. So it's going to be from me to UID. Or just ID. Or better yet, I could say members is just going to be ID UID. And then on the back end, socket.on, create chat room. Yeah, we'll do that. Or we'll call it load. All chat rooms. Create chat room. Yeah. Create chat room. I'll have to change something on the front end. Create chat room. We're getting the array of members. And so we will create new chat rooms. A new room equals await chat room dot create. And if we go look at our model for the chat room, it's just currently we could give it a name. I'll just put it as like the I'm gonna get rid of name. I don't want to do that right now. Just the members. It's an array of object IDs, messages. It's obviously not going to have anything. So members and then socket.emit. The new room. Okay, so let's get it working on the one side. Create chat room. And then on our dashboard where we did this says new chat rooms. Let's do all chat rooms. And then we're going to have one socket.on new chat created, we'll say. And so what we'll do is we'll take the room and set chat rooms to be an array with everything in chat rooms. Plus the new room. Okay. So that's all chat rooms. That's chat created. So on the app, I do want to emit chat created with the new room. Chat created, chat created. IO is not defined. Where is it looking for that? Dashboard.js. I think it's going to be up here. I don't need that anymore because I have socket coming from state. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, why so angry? Cannot read properties of null, needing reading emit. If there's no socket and is authenticated. Okay, so let's do this. Let new socket equals, and then I do need that IO. Socket.io dash client. Right, because I never actually did the connection. Oops. Okay, so yeah, I know where I'm at now. IO HTTP / localhost 8080. So if I look for Marcus, click chat now. Oh, it's not happy. Why? Each child in a list. Oh, we got something there. It did add something. Cool. Okay, so then if we go to our ongoing chats, which is where that is put. Remember .username. And this should be a key room._ID. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why? Okay. So I think what we're dealing with here is that our handle, nope. So we're initializing the new socket. And so let's go into app and real quick, we'll just console log socket. Or actually, this is where I think I want to come back to figuring out the connecting with a client ID. So socket IO connect with client ID. Each new connection, socket.id. Okay, client side, socket on connect. Can I specify the ID that I want? That's the question. Okay. On connect. hold on, what am I doing? What I should do is on connection. Socket.on connect. I want to do the same thing, fetch chat rooms. No, because then I have the same problem. I need my socket ID to be my client ID. That's what I want. Socket IO send connect. Choose client ID on connection. I don't want to send the client's ID to the client itself. I want to set it. Can you choose client ID socket IO? Can we change socket ID? Can't override it. Oh. Okay, so let me think here to see how we can work around this. When I connect, can I send something on connect? Okay, so let's do this. There's a new socket, Mitch. So I shouldn't even need that. I should connect with the user ID. Okay. So I don't really want, I'm just going to change that to connect. And then it emits all chat rooms or so admit that I'm connected. And then on connected, and I will set those rooms when I get the chat created. Oy, 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 oy. Connect is a reserved name. Of course it is, because of course it is. What if I just do that? See what happens. I don't imagine it's going to work very well. But cannot create property path on string. Okay, so let's go to socket IO socket IO client. Where are we? Force new. No. See, now that's what I want. I want to be able to send something with that. What's multiplex? What are our things? What things can we do here? Path. Hey, extra headers, that I can do. That I can do. Maybe. Oh man, I'm just okay. I probably should have just left some of this to happen automatically. So let's just do this. I'm not gonna do all of this stuff. I am gonna initialize this socket and generate the event for the creating, and then I will load dashboard. So I will get my, I'll get them, and then I can add new ones. Okay. Okay. So what's wrong here? Can I? Right, because we don't want that. Okay. So if I load that, then we're getting nothing. So then what's going on with the database then? Because we did add a chat room. And then, so when I'm querying for my chats, chat rooms, dot routes, get, require auth, populate the chat rooms. No chat rooms, no chat rooms. Oh, I see. So we created the chat rooms, but yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So when I send the thing to the chat routes, boop, 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 chat rooms, chat room dot find. And then I want to populate the members. So find chat rooms where the members includes ID. Okay. Chat room is not defined. Okay. Okay. That I can fix very easily. Somehow it's broken even more. Chat rooms.map is not a function. There we go. Marcus and Cody, we've got a thing. We have a chat room. We have a chat. Okay. 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 Now if I refresh here, boom. Okay. So now the question is, we need to connect the two. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let's do this. Let's go and let's add something here. What I want to do is I want to make it so that when this is gonna be a little hectic. Client connects to the server. Server responds with a client ID or just saying, yes, you're good, you're connected. Server responds to the client saying you're connected. Client then sends the user ID, which the server will take and log in the database to say, okay, this client, this user is the one that has this socket going on. On disconnect, it will clear that. So I need to modify a thing here in my users. I'll say active socket is a string. It can be null. It can not be null. And then, so socket dot on connect. Or better yet here. So connected. So I'm just going to omit that. And then on the dashboard, I'm going to listen for the connected. Boom, boom. New socket dot on connected. I'm going to emit I'll call it handshake and submit my user ID. So then on the back end, on my server, socket.on handshake, I'll take the user ID and await user dot find by ID and update. And the active, the ID is going to be UID, and the, what did I call it when I just added that? Active socket. Active socket. I think there's a socket.id. What? Dashboard JS line 30. Socket on, oh, get rid of that. Put that there. Okay. So then in here, what we print, ooh, oh yeah, look at that, socket.id, cool. So then what I want to do is on my server, on disconnect, socket.on disconnect. I'm going to get the user who has the active socket connection. Find one where the active socket is socket.id. And actually find one and update. Active socket is now null. So close out the active socket when when a socket disconnects. Okay. So I have connected. If I go look in my database now for my user, there we go. I have an active socket. Okay, beautiful. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere in my dashboard. When I create one, that sends it to the server, and when the chat room is created, what we can do is I will also need to const users in chat room. Const users equals await user dot find ID is I need all the users where their ID is inside of the members array. I think something like that should work. Let's see, what if I go and create a new chat room with John? Looks like that worked. Maybe. No. Okay, so let's see, Mongoose. Get users by ID array. Find where to do. Okay, so then I want the Mongoose in operator. So I get my syntax right. No, that's not helping me. In ID in. Okay, so I flipped it around. It's ID in there. Okay, so let's do this. Let's clear the chat rooms. Refresh. Okay, now I want to look for Marcus, add it. And what did we get back? Oh man, I have too many things going on at once. Perfect. Look at that. That's 2 users. Those are the ones in the chat room. Boo, 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 boo. And then what was I just, I don't even know what. Oh, right. Okay. So when it is for let user of users, I'm going to loop through and emit directly to any active socket. So if user dot, first of all, if the user's ID is not equal to blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's just do this. If the user dot active socket does not equal socket dot ID, because it creates a different socket for every client. Okay, and there is an actual active socket, user dot active socket, because it could be null. Now here you can emit directly to a given socket ID. User dot active socket. So by doing .2, it should only emit to the other person. So to that place, to whoever, emit new chat with the new room. Okay, so now back in the dashboard. Okay, that's chat created. So it's not new chat that I want. I already have something for chat created. And it emits that. I'm already emitting to myself here. And then this is going to be for anybody else who is added into the chat. So if all works here, I think we should see some pretty cool stuff. Let's delete the chat room. Refresh both. Marcus. That comma wasn't there a second ago. It added our socket. We have it connected. I do want to make sure that I've got it's so the new room just doesn't have the list of users. So what I'll do is I'll say new room dot members equals users. Cool. Okay. So now obviously I refresh both and it works because we already knew that was working. Let's test it again. And I think we should be solid here. I think it should do it on the creation immediately. Marcus, chat now. Boom. Instructor Cody, facilitator Marcus, instructor Cody, facilitator Marcus. Beautiful. Okay, so we now have all of our little chat functionality so far. We have it so that we can send the requests through sockets. We can create the chat room through sockets and have it update live time for both users, which is awesome, right? Because remember, I'm logged in as Marcus on this one. If I go log out and I log in as John, facilitator John does not have that one until boom. Okay, so we do have a little bit of an issue where it is not actually adding it, it's just replacing it. So let's see how we can do that. Set chat rooms. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this set chat rooms because I think it's working off a snapshot. Add chat room, and then add chat room, the dashboard, add chat room, add chat room, and then in my use dashboard, I want to add a chat. State chat rooms is going to be state.chatrooms destructured followed by action.payload. Okay, so let me double check. Add chat. Cool. So let's delete the chat room between Cody and John, which I believe, let's see, instructor Cody is 3A3. So, and then John is 22A. So 3A3 and 22A. There we go, that one. Delete it, refresh, it's gone, good. Refresh both of these. So now if John adds a chat with Cody, boom, it's added here, it's added there. Cool, okay. So we've got our chats. Let's log back out and go back as Marcus. Now for the actual chat business. Okay. Here's another thing that we're able to do. Socket.io join. You can join rooms, and that's why I wanted to create these chat rooms, so that when I connect or when I click on one of these things, I can join the chat room and see what is in there. So where's the join? Okay, so connection socket.join user ID. Boo. Okay. So when we connect, we're getting the user ID. That didn't work. It was when we did the handshake. Okay, so when we do the handshake, what we're also going to do is get the chat rooms for that user. Chat room dot find where the members includes the user ID. And then for every room in there, and this is extra complex because I'm trying to like connect to multiple things at the same time. Actually, no, we'll join one at a time. Okay, so I need to add the ability to actually open up that chat. So let's do this. Let's say ongoing chats next to set display search users. No, it's in here. Boom members dot filter. Eyes less than 3. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to first filter out the member. That's logged in. I don't want myself to pop up. Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Okay, so I've got two there. I don't know why this one's not working. Oh, it wasn't signed in. Oh, okay. I know. I didn't click remember me, so I was refreshing. Okay, instructor Cody, and then I've got Marcus and John, and then I can say that if I click on it, let's do this. Style equals cursor pointer, and then on click, we will set the active chat, and I'm going to do that by changing this here. Chat window. We'll grab the room ID. So on click, let's exit out of lots of stuff. On click, we are going to, these are chat rooms, so room.id. Okay, so we're going to need to navigate. Navigate / dashboard / chat / and then room._id. Okay. What's wrong here? Dashboard / chat. Okay, so we've got that. And then if I click on Marcus, it should change the active chat window. So that's good. And then in chat window, this is where we will grab our params. And this is going to have a room ID. Container. Okay, so now what we need to do is when we pull up this chat window, right? I want all of the messages to appear, or at least the most recent ones. Okay, so let's start super basic. We're in the dashboard, so I can pull the socket from use dashboard. And what we'll do is we will create a socket endpoint, socket.on, get messages. It'll be for the room ID. And we will grab all of them. So by saying the room is equal to await chat room dot find by ID, room ID. Oh, I know the messages should already be there. But I do want to populate the messages with path is messages. Populate username. Or is it from? I think it's from chat room. Messages from body. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Let's see. Socket reply to sender. Let's do that. Do. Yeah, all right. I got to do it. Messages loaded. And then I'll just return all the messages. So then back in the chat window, when the room ID loads, we'll say socket const messages set messages equals use state. It'll be an empty array. And when we connect, socket dot emit, we want to get messages with the user ID or with the chat room, right? So the room ID. And then socket dot on. What did I call it? Messages loaded. Set messages. And then let's just console log the messages. Cannot read properties undefined of reading emit. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. Socket is undefined. Blah, 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 blah. So why is socket never defined? It works when I did it in the thing. Okay, so let's just make a new one. No, that's annoying. That is irritating. Okay. In the dashboard, I have complicated everything by putting everything in like 6 different places, set socket. And then if I do check that dispatch set underscore socket, state socket action top payload. Socket is null. Okay, so then there is a socket. Okay, but if there's a socket, then how come when I go into my chat window, oh, because it's inside of state. Got it. Okay. Let's go back to what we had. There we go. Okay. Now, there we go. There we go. Okay, so if the socket exists, and we'll also grab the is authenticated. If socket and is authenticated. So if any of these things change. Okay. Boom. Got no messages because we have no messages in any of them. That's fine. Cool. Okay. Form from React Bootstrap on submit is going to be a function called send message. E.prevent default. E.stop propagation. And then we'll figure it out in a sec. Const handle change equals E. And we'll have a message. Const message body. Set message body equals use state as an empty string. Okay. Form.control. Type equals text. Autocomplete is off. Placeholder equals send a message. And then on change is going to be handle change. Equals submit. Variant equals primary. Send. Button is not defined. Let's import it from the Bootstrap. Okay. Cool. And then we'll have that form group. Or I guess I don't even need that. I just last name equals Flex. Okay, cool. Send message. So I'm going to add. Oh, I don't even care anymore where it's at. Send message. Position absolute. Bottom 0, right 0, left 0. Cool. So that's all the way down there, but I want it to be inside of the chat window. Last name equals chat window. Add that in here. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is make it so that if I start sending a message, right? I want to send Marcus a message and have it show up. But I don't even just want that. I want to start typing and have it tell Marcus that I'm typing. I think that'll be pretty neat. So in my event listen, in my handle change, I'm going to socket.emit typing. And then it's going to boo, 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 boo. Okay, so let's see. You know what? This is where we're going to do a join. Okay, so socket.io client join. You could emit to several rooms. All right. Socket.join the room will result in all these things. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Socket.join room ID. And then in my backend, I think what I can do is when I say that I want to get the messages and I have the room ID, I can join the room ID. Okay, so let's start with this. I want to emit that I'm typing, and I already emitted that down here. So this is going to be to room ID. Emit that I'm typing. And then what I can do is in the app.js on the server, we can have a socket.on typing. Chat window, emit typing, and then I want to say who is typing. So I'm going to grab the username from that auth. So I'm emitting to everybody in the room that I'm typing, username, and then socket dot to do two things, room ID and that. Okay, so how do we set up the backend to do the joined sockets? Socket IO join server rooms. Okay, so we do the thing. Boop boop boo. Okay, so on in the app. Boo, 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 boo. Then we join there. Let's do a broadcast. Just a broadcast to everybody that's connected to the socket, that username. Broadcast that. Okay, so do. So in this chat window, I've joined on the room ID, and then socket.on other user typing, username. We'll do this. Const user typing, set user typing. Let's use state. No. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to say const time since typing received, set time since typing received equals use state 0. So every time that we hear that let's do this. Set use effect. I'm going to set up a little timer here. Time since typing received. Anytime that that changes, we will set timeout. Set time since typing received. Time +1. Every 1,000 milliseconds. If time since typing received is less than 5. Every time that we receive that, we're going to set time since typing received back to 0. And then set user typing to be the username. So we've got on the front end, we're receiving that the event that the other user is typing, other user typing, other user typing. Every time that we do, we reset our timer back to 0, and then it will continue to increment every second. And I went with 5 seconds, so that if it's 5 seconds, we won't show who's typing. So let's do this. Let's put some text right above form.text. So we'll say if time since typing received is less than 5. So we'll start it at 5 actually. And we'll say username, user typing is typing. Okay, so let's try this. See if this works. No, it's not going to work. I broke everything. Why did I break everything? Socket.join is not a function. Womp womp. Okay. Okay, so we get rid of that, and then all right, so then when we're typing, okay, so we did set it to go to the room ID. No, that did not work. Type error socket.to is not a function. All right, me. Socket IO client join. Is it even a thing that I do here? I don't think so. Okay, so let's just do this. Socket.emit typing. Who is going to be username? Room ID is room ID. So we'll do that. And then in here, who room ID. And then this will be socket.to room ID. We'll start with just this. Okay. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, so something's breaking. Error connection refused. What? What changed? What did I just do? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, big yikes. If socket and is authenticated. Okay, so, and it's in here. Where? Something about room.messages. Socket.emit room.messages. So that's in my app, line 99. Okay, so I click Marcus, Cody, send a thing, and that's not working. Okay. Okay. So what I need to do. I'm having trouble with this room thing. I don't get it. Socket IO room. Okay, so a room is an arbitrary channel that sockets can join and leave. It could be used to broadcast events to a subset of clients. So on connection, socket.join some room to that room. Okay, but so how do I know that I've received? So it actually, okay, so that's annoying. All right, const users or rooms, room equals await, use chat room dot find one, find by ID, room ID. Sync. User of room.members. So I'm going to populate the members for each one of those. Socket.to user.active socket .emit. Okay. Okay, so now if I go, I'm already talking to Marcus. Refresh this page. Oh, look at that. Instructor Cody is typing, and after 5 seconds, it should disappear. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Oop, oop, ooh. And it'll disappear after a few seconds. Cool. Okay. What about sending the message? We're finally at sending the message. Okay, socket.on. We're going to call it send message, async. We'll say the body, who it's from, and the room ID. Const room equals await chat room dot find by ID, room ID. And then what we're going to want to do is, no, I don't think I even need to do any of that. I will say await chat room dot find by ID and update. And I'm going to find it by the room ID. And I'm going to update it by add to set. I'm going to add the body with this, the object with this body and this from to the messages. Because in my chat room, every message has from and body. One is a string, the other is an object ID, so a user. So I've got that, and then I will oh, you know what? I am going to need that chat room. So room equals find by ID and update, and that should give me, if I run a dot populate, the members for let user of room dot members, and I actually want to do this. If user dot underscore ID does not equal room ID. I'm sorry, not room ID, but who. Or if user dot username does not equal who. I'm going to emit it to everybody that's not the person typing, because I don't need to see that I'm typing. And then for this, we'll do something similar. I'm going to send the message, and then it'll add it to the messages. And for everybody else, I will say socket.to user.active socket, assuming that user.id does not equal the from. Emit message received, or receive message. And it's going to be say room ID, body, and from. Okay. Okay, so I've got that. And now when we send the message, socket dot emit send message, and then it's body and from and room ID. So the body is the message body. From is the user ID from our auth. And the room is coming from the room ID. Okay, so we got that, and then room ID. Okay. So let's go hop in here. If I start typing, cool. And then if I start typing, then I see it there. Beautiful. And then if I send it, what do we need to do? Okay, so we're going to emit the socket, or that we're going to emit this, and then socket.on. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. We are going to send it to everybody, because I don't want to like add it to my list of messages that are there unless it's actually received. So what's it we call it? Receive message. Receive message. Console log, because I don't remember what it is and I just want to see it. Okay, so I'm going to type something, send it. I have no idea if it's sent. Oops. Oh, it looks like it did. Let's go check something here. The chat rooms. And there's a message. Hey, okay, so we've got something. Marcus, Cody. So if I send it. Okay, so what's going on here? On receive message. So it's emitting that socket on receive message. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Okay, so use dashboard line 60. Let's go get that console log out of there because it is driving me crazy. Okay. Send it. Didn't work. Okay, why? Chat window, send message, prevent default, emit, send message, send on the app, socket on send message. So let's do this. Console log. Okay, so I send it. And it says message received from that person. Okay, okay. So chat room, find by ID and update. Oh, I might have to do this. New is true. No, I don't think I should. Okay, console log room. Okay, there's the room and there's the messages. And it's got the members. Member.active socket. Active socket. Emit. Receive message. And then in my chat window on receive message. Console log. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so it is sending it. It's just it's not coming back when we do the emit. Don't know why. To user.active socket emit receive message. Okay. Okay. Well, then in that case, let's do this. When we set messages as everything that's in messages plus. Oh, wait. Oh. I don't want that there. I want that in the use effect. Doy. Okay, so where was I? Here. Okay. So now if I come back here refresh, type something, send it. Still not getting it there. Now I get it there. Do I get it here? No. Okay. Why? Socket emit typing, socket emit, send message, body from room ID on receive message. Okay, so what we'll do is we will set messages as messages and no. From UID. Body. Message body. Yeah. Nope. Not a problem. I'm gonna be wrapping up pretty soon anyway, because yeah, it's long. Okay, so we send it and then I can add it. So then down here in the actual in the JSX, I will have messages dot map message. So if message dot from equals UID, then we'll show a div with a class name of from user, else div class name is from self, from other. Or better yet, sent, received. And then we can make that CSS in a little bit, and then this will just say message dot body. Actually, it's going to be a couple things. So we can say span class name equals bubble message dot body. And then underneath it, we'll also do a span with a class name of from message dot from dot username. Not spank. Span. Okay. And then here we'll have a span called bubble message dot body. And then since this is the way that I want it. I want it to show up as from somebody else. Okay, cool. Oh, look at that. We've got some stuff there. Okay, so now we just need to style the heck out of this. So we'll move that in there. And then chat window .css. So bubble sent from, and then we're going to have a sent or sent bubble and a from bubble. Okay, so the bubble is going to be padding 5 pixels, border radius 5 pixels. Yes, and then if it's sent bubble, then it's going to be a background color of light gray. If it's a from bubble, wait, how did we do it? If the message, if it's from, okay, so that's sent bubble is gray, yeah, and then the from bubble Background color will be blue, and the text color will be white. And then sent. So our chat window class name equals chat log. Chat log, position, relative, overflow, auto. Okay. Boop, 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 boo, doo, 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 doo. Okay, so we'll do this. Message sent and received, and then I can say that message is going to be display flex. Sent is going to be just flex start or flex direction, flex. I have forgotten off the top of my head. Display flex. Display flex direction row. No, I want the justify content. Okay. Justify content. Flex start. And then from justify content, flex end. I think it might be the opposite way. And then the message width is 100%. Everything should have a key. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so now I need to import chat window.css. Okay. Message bubble padding 5 pixels, border radius 5 pixels, sent bubble. Okay, so let's do this real quick. The message should be display flex direction column. And then the bubble should have a font size of 10 point, and the from and okay, so sent and received. Sent not from, but received. There we go. Okay, so then sent bubble. Background color of light gray. Receive bubble. What if we just did gray? Okay. Console.log message. Okay, so in that case, if message.from and message.from._ID equals user ID. Hey, okay. Okay, so we've got some stuff back and forth. Cool. We want the bubble to be a maximum width of, I don't know, 100 pixels. Okay, cool. Sent is flex start, received is flex end. Display flex. It's the message. That should be the whole width. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's good. And then okay, so I added one. That says, so what? Why is it the opposite way? Boo, boo, boo. If it was received, it should be on the left. So received should be flex start and the sent should be flex end. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. And then where I say that it's from font size 8 point. Little teeny tiny. Cool. So I could see that Marcus sent a thing. Awesome. And then in the chat window where I have chat log, overflow Y, I'll do scroll. If I send another one, no. Okay. So boo, 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 boo. Why? What's going on here? Div chat log. Okay, so I don't want the form to be part of that. I just want that to be in the chat window. So let's grab that whole form, drop it outside. Okay, so how tall did I make this thingy? Max height, say 350 pixels. Okay. All right, and then we can say width 100%. What's going on over here? Chat window. We can say no. Whatever. We'll leave it like that. Okay, so why when I send it do I get an error? That's the last little bit that I want to figure out here. Console. Blah, blah, blah. Each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Hello? Did I not? Key is message.id. All right. Well, either way, look at that. Hey there, Marcus. I send it. I sent it. Oh, and I didn't get it though. If I send it. Hello. Send. What that? Mhm. Okay, so if message dot from equals user ID or the other thing. Okay. So we do this, and then I send a thing and it shows up as mine. I send a thing, it shows up as mine. Okay. So let's do something here real quick. CSS start scroll at bottom. Position relative bottom 0. Nope, that did not work. Okay. Okay, React element start scroll at bottom. React scroll to bottom of element. I don't want to scroll to the bottom of the whole thing. Scroll to bottom. Messages end. Hey, okay, cool. Cool. So scroll to bottom. Okay. All right. So I need to use some useref stuff. So I have a div. It's going to be a dummy div at the bottom of this whole thing. Div ref equals message and then const message end equals useref null. No. And then every time that I get or receive a message, oh, right, we didn't actually finish this part. Okay. Let's start with console log, huh? And then message end dot current scroll into view. Okay, and then let's just get the rest of this working and then we can pretty much call it a day. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It did it. Oh, ooh, that's cool. That's cool. Boom. Okay. So then what I need to do, room ID body from, okay, so I need to add the new thing. So set messages as everything that's already in messages plus a new one with a from of dot from and a body of dot body. Oy vey. Okay. So let's do this. Scroll to bottom. Let's do that. Okay, and then we'll call scroll to bottom here. Otherwise, when we send it, there we go. Okay. And then we're also going to do it on load. Hey there, dude. And we send it. And it gets added there, but not, okay, so, okay, all right, so we're working on it, but it is sending the message, which is cool. Send message, scroll to bottom. Or better yet, let's just do this. Anytime that messages changes. So use effect. Got that. I don't want that there anymore. Oh no, I do want that. I do want that. I don't want that. Where we're doing that? We're doing that there. And we'll do this. Use effect. Messages. Scroll to bottom. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Whew. Okay, but why is that going on there? I don't know why that's happening. Okay, well, either way, it is looking pretty good so far. I'm just not going to spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure out the this little bit right here, ref messages and ref. If message and ref. But other than that, pretty much everything else is looking good. I have one last little bit here that I would like to do is when I submit it and I emit it and I get the stuff, I want to set message body back to an empty string and only submit it if message body is an empty string, return. Okay. So now if I refresh, hey, what's up? Submit it. Oh, okay. So I need to bind the form. Value equals message body. Not much. What about you? Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Just having lots of fun with sockets. Have you used them before? Oh, I don't like how it does that, but that's something I could figure out another time. Nope. Tell me more. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. One last little bit that I'll do is margin bottom 10 pixels. So there's some spacing in between everything. But look at that. We've got our little chat app. We can send friend requests and stuff. And then I can switch back and forth between whoever I'm talking to. But yeah, so that's sockets. We got lots of stuff going on with it. I apologize for the lots and lots of trying to go figure things out. I am posting this code though. So if you're understandably not too pumped about watching 2.5 hours of or almost 3 hours of video to figure this out, check the code, right? The code works other than the little use rep thing. Although I don't know why I'm telling you this now, because if you're watching me say this, you've already watched through the whole thing. But yeah, awesome. It's looking good. We got everything happening. It sends the messages to the right people. It tells them when they're typing, all that good stuff. So hopefully this helps out. I'll get this posted ASAP. Obviously, if you see it, it's already posted, but happy holidays. I'll catch you next time.